Hello.
Hello.
Did you miss us? First of all, thank you very much for the comments on last week's vlog. If you've not seen it, have a look here. Consider subscribing, following Mrs. B on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. So, you join us. We've sold our house, we're homeless, and we've changed our mind about a wide beam. Yeah, we've changed our mind. Seriously, we've changed our mind. Right, before we get into that, I just want to do a very quick shout out. Let me just have a look. We had a lovely comment from Steve, who's now living on his wide beam down in Tewkesbury. So Steve, shout out. Thank you very much for those lovely comments.
Yeah.
And what Helen, I think it's Helen, let me just check it, it's Helen. What Helen's also considering is amazing. So quick shout out to Steve, thank you. Right, we will catch up with you shortly in terms of, we're not joking about we've changed our mind. We really have, but we've sold the house subject to contract.
Yeah.
Oh dear me.
Already everything's happening. Can I just say a very quick shout out to Robbie? I got a lovely email from Steph and Robbie from St Anne's. So hi Robbie.
Yes, which we will read out properly later, but yeah, thank you Mrs. Bonneville. Right, we'll see you shortly. Yeah, goodbye. We are now going to go and have a little walk, and we'll pick back up with you once we've cleared our heads a little bit, and we can share with you what the hell, but we have changed our mind. Right, we're going to go for a little walk and see you. We'll probably pick back up with you tomorrow actually, so we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Oh, come on!
Why? I know you're asking why. Well, a number of reasons, wasn't it, Mrs. B?
Oh yeah.
And look, what I don't want to do, or what we don't want to do, is suggest for 1 minute that we don't like wide beams. We love wide beams. In fact, we've had so many late night discussions recently of, you know, shall we get a wide beam later on? Should we retire onto a wide beam?
A Hoxton.
A Hoxton. Yeah, should we forego, you know, our little place in France? So wide beams are very much still on the card. So please, I don't want anybody thinking we've gone off wide beams. But the main reason is we want to go and explore. That's the bottom line, isn't it, my love?
We keep watching different YouTube channels and stuff, and we keep going, oh, we won't be able to go down there, we won't be able to do this, we won't be able to do that. And one of the reasons why I was up last night, because I'm just in my head, I'm thinking, am I going to miss, at the moment, currently, in the house that we're in, that we've now sold, I've got a beautiful big kitchen, and will I miss that, you know, and getting a wide beam, you can have your big kitchen, you can have your big everything, but then on a narrowboat, you can't. So I've got to get my head around, it's narrow, but we're going to be having an adventure. Yeah,
definitely. Look, there's a massive sacrifice, and I wish I could sprinkle magic dust over Mrs. B. I know she's going to go through, and I know I'm going to be honest with you, it's going to be hard for us, because I know Mrs. B is not going to deal with some of this very well, but we've made our minds up. Is that fair enough? Mm-hmm. And it's a narrow boat because we're going to have an adventure. Yes, we listened to some of the stuff that you guys nudged us on. In fact, look, here's a lovely boat coming past now.
Yeah, either way.
Look at this. Here it comes, look.
Yay! And he's having a little adventure, look.
They're having an adventure. Right, yeah, so, as I say, we want to explore the network, basically. We know you can do some of it on a wide beam, but we want to be able to get a 57-foot narrowboat, cruiser stern, that we can explore on. Now, some of you will also be saying, well, hold on a minute, what's changed? You need to work, Mr. B. Yep, need to work, but our plan is at weekends and, you know, holidays, etc, etc. Anyway, we've blathered on. That's why we've changed our mind. So you may actually see on this particular vlog us taking a look around a couple of narrowboats back at Mercia. Apologies for the face mask, guys, but obviously we are on board a new narrowboat. Just having another look.
Well, there's a lot of storage there.
We're just, I suppose, familiarising ourselves with the space again. I think it's fair to say we're quite, we're happy. There's the view. Mrs. Bonneville. Morning. We've been into the office to change our requirements in terms of residential mooring, and we've been to new and used boats.
And we've been in Chandler Bing.
Midland Chandlers. Absolutely amazing. Look, you're going to be laughing, I know you are, but we are learning as we go daily. But it was a great little walk round. Midland Chandlers, wow. It's got everything. We're bikers, we're in a Chandlers. Unbelievable. Love it. We've looked at stuff that we've no idea what it does, where it goes, and we've sat on a mega comfortable chair. We were like little kids in the Chandlers.
We were looking at toilets and everything, and they've got right diddy washing machine. A washing machine that you can just probably put your pants in and that's it.
We're going to go walk along this canal towpath for a wee while, and we'll pick back up with you in a minute, because I also want to briefly touch on, you've been asking about our costs and forecasts, so we're going to do that, and we're going to also answer some of your questions or read some of your comments that you've sent in. So see you in a minute. Goodbye. I hope you like us. I hope you don't mind us doing these questions, but you've sent them in, so we wanted to share them. Where are we? We've got Peter Rogerson from Suffolk. Right. Again, apologies for me looking down all the time, but they're on the phone. No, don't do it. You pair are way too adventurous for a wide beam. Nothing against them, as we plan to eventually move on to one and retire. Not yet though, because unless you are in the south, they just sit in marinas. And Wendy, the cut needs to see you because you are a sexy woman. It's your first strike. You pair are simply too adventurous, and we love the wide beams. As mentioned, we shall end up on one, but not yet. There is absolutely nothing better than waking up on the cut, because we also have a residential mooring at a marina down here in the south. And whilst we love it and our neighbours, there is really nothing better than getting away from pontoon life at a weekend or when I'm not working. Totally agree, even though we've not experienced it yet.
We've just been talking about that, haven't we?
We have. Question. We are on a 57-foot cruiser and absolutely love it. Darren, I work, and Helen, my wife, will often take the boat out regularly along with the dogs to keep her company. My question, Wendy, is if you did change your mind, we have, would you take the boat out on your own and do some vlogs?
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been saying to Mr. B, there's a lot of people here that we've obviously been back to the marina and back to the marina and back to the marina so many times now that we're getting to know people, and everybody seems to be really, really nice and friendly like that.
Yeah.
I would grab somebody and just say, look, just come with me for a
Not
few
literally.
times. Not literally, no. Just please come with me for a few times and just take me through the locks. And then I'll be fine. But I'm not scared at all about, steering it and stuff. In fact, I'm quite looking forward to reversing it.
She's just scared of change.
I am the best reverser in the car, so I'm hoping that it's gonna be the same in the boat, isn't it?
Yeah, Mrs. Bonneville's going off on one. She's a great driver. No, listen, I've got no issue with Mrs. Bonneville wanting to take the boat out, as long as we both feel comfortable with what we're both doing. And I know Mrs. Bonneville, she knows the limitations and when she's ready to do something or not. Thank you for the question. We are going to continue walking along this wonderful towpath and pick back up with you in a minute.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Excuse me. William Brooks. William Brooks from Birmingham has contacted us. I really do think you pair are great, but you should try a narrowboat as... Oh dear, some of the fit outs are utterly stunning, and you can have that adventure you so look like you want. I know other folk have already said this, but just want to also suggest it as well. I have a 57-foot cruiser, and Wendy, trust me, there is nothing better than the mix of privacy and solitude on the cut and then back into the marina for company. You won't be able to do that on a wide beam. You will be stuck with your marina neighbours, not unless you decide to take your wide beam out and moor it up someplace. Question. My wife wants to know where you get your hair done. I'd like to know how I go about moving our boat, currently up on the Macclesfield, so I can get to see more of you pair. Oh, that's really nice. You are great, and we love watching you. Please keep the vlogs coming, and we hope we haven't offended you pair. Not at all, and as you obviously now know, we're going 57-foot narrowboat. Wendy, Mrs. Bonneville, where do you get your hair done?
I do it.
She does it herself.
I used to go to the hairdressers all the time, and it's not that I've anything against hairdressers. I just do my nails, my hair, and everything. I just do it myself at home, and I just cut the ends off every now and again.
Yeah, Mrs. Bonneville did my hair last night. Look, hey.
He just let me loose.
I just said cut it. Just go. We're going to go back to the marina now. We'll pick back up with a few questions as we get a bit closer. Here we are, folks. Here we are. Under what bridge are we under, Mrs.
18.
Bonneville? Bridge 18. And Margaret Rutherford from the Highlands of Scotland, lucky you, has sent us an email and said, may I just ask you lovely pair of folk a question if I may? And it's for both of you. Of course you can. What is the one thing you are still most nervous about, and what is the one thing you are no longer nervous about, which used to keep you awake at night? Wendy, I am also a lady in her mid-50s, and every time I see you on screen, I marvel at how well you look.
Aww.
In fact, when you mentioned your age the first time, I was simply shocked because I really did have you down for early 40s. You really are an attractive woman who looks so well and healthy. Life on the water will only improve this, I feel. Keep the great work up, and thank you. And thanks for the compliments, Margaret, about
lovely.
how, young I look as well. Right, so look very quickly because my arm is hurting. Right, what is the one thing you are still most nervous about?
Getting used to the size of the boat. It was one thing when I was looking at the wide beam, because that was almost like an apartment on the water. So
Size.
It's the size, yeah.
My one thing is it's Mrs. Bonneville. No, I mean it. Our marriage is strong, but I know Mrs. Bonneville is just not going to cope with the change.
She's going to be a nightmare.
She's just not, and I don't know. Anybody's got any tips out there to sprinkle some magic dust on this, because Mrs. Bonneville is just not going to cope with this. She wouldn't have coped with it even if it was a wide beam. One thing I do know is she's made her mind up. We are doing this.
And once I say I'm going to do something, I always do it.
But I know she's not going to cope very well with it. What's the one thing that you used to worry about that you no longer worry about?
The fact that I've made the decision. And once I make a decision, that's it. There's no going back.
Yeah. So, right, and mine is perception. I was a little bit worried about what folk might think of us doing this stuff. Now I am so over that. Maybe it's something Mrs. Bonneville said a few months ago. Bikers, I'm going to say it, I'm not waving me willy or I'm not flexing. I've ridden around the planet a couple of times on a motorbike, and maybe when you've done that, you do have a slightly different outlook, nomadic, don't know. But anyway, I am no longer worried about what other folk think about me and my wife living on a boat. I was, but I'm not. Woe betide the man or woman that has a little bit of a say
and
in
I've
that.
never been worried about that.
No, Mrs. Bonneville's a hippie. Right, goodbye, my arm's hurting. Goodbye. Right, welcome back. It's just me for the next 5 minutes or so. Mrs. Bonneville will be making an appearance at the end of the vlog. But I'm conscious we've been asked numerous times now for just some costings. How much is this change of lifestyle going to cost us? Because you guys are interested as well. I want to really caveat, this is just a forecast. And at the end of this couple of minutes, I will put a little summary of this on screen as well, so you can see it. Narrowboat, which is obviously what we're going for. And I'm going to give you a column or a number in terms of what our current monthly costs are for living in our house. I'm not going to go into detail in terms of the breakdown of that, because I'm sure you'll agree that's private for just me and Mrs. Bonneville. What you'll see at the end of this is a monthly cost based upon a number of things: mooring service charge and mooring residential service charges. Now, before I go any further, you can have a look online at Mercia Marina, the mooring pack, to find out exactly how much they charge each month for a residential mooring. And now we're going for a 57, it may be 60, but certainly 57 minimum, maximum 60 foot narrowboat. And that will work out around about £242 a month. And that's just for mooring. As I say, there's mooring service charges, there's mooring residential service charges on that as well. Boat safety certificate, I've put that in there. I've also put obviously our CRT boat licence annually in there as well. Boat insurance. Did manage to speak to a company called Inshore for Boats. Great company. Around about £250, which I thought was brilliant, by the way. And that also includes high value items. And again, obviously not going to go through what they are, but it really was kind of a fully comprehensive quote. I'm really pleased with that quote, actually. Blacking, I've kind of assumed the boat will be taken out of the water every 2, maybe 3 years. So I've put you know, a number in there. I've based it on £300 each year for blacking. So at the end of, you know, 3 years, it's going to be £900 to black the boat. I don't know if that's good, bad, or if I'm way out, way under. But I've included blacking. I've included kind of general boat maintenance costs. The one thing that I do absolutely know, particularly as you've just seen a very quick overview of me and Mrs. B in Midland Chandlers, I know we're going to be spending some money each month on bits and pieces for the boat, so I've put money in for that. I have put obviously money in, or a forecast in, for heating, so coal. I've put money in for obviously gas for the boat, and I've also put money in for the river canal rescue. And I've looked at the various different categories of cover: gold, silver, bronze, etc. And I've gone for the gold. It's £280 a year, and I think that is fantastic cover, so that's in there. Water, of course, which is free. Electricity, oh god, I've made so many assumptions with electricity. I've looked at various different mooring packs in terms of what the unit cost, I know, boring, but what the unit cost of electricity is on certain marinas, etc, etc. So I've put a number in there for the wide beam and obviously the narrowboat monthly. I've also put internet and mobiles. That's massively important. So the number that I've included in there is for my mobile, Mrs. Bonneville's mobile, and the router for the boat, which is really important if I'm working at home. I've also put TV license, yes. And I'm going to come on to a few other bits and pieces in a minute. So what you will see at the end of this little segment is, as I say, a breakdown monthly for narrowboat and our current costs monthly for living in a house. What has pleased me, particularly with the narrowboat monthly fee, and I'm going to come on to what it doesn't include in a minute. So I've forecasted £643 per month for the narrowboat. Now, just very briefly to confirm, that's full-time residential mooring at Mercia Marina, so that's the biggest cost. But £643 per month. Interestingly, Cruising the Cut very recently did a breakdown, or David, I think his name's David, he did a breakdown of his costs per month, and his were 507. So I'm not that far out. I forecasted 643, his were 507. Bearing in mind that we are going to be full time on the marina. I think Cruising the Cut was only spending on mooring fees maybe 7 months of the year, not sure, but anyway, he wasn't a full-time residential moorer, so I was quite pleased in terms of it doesn't seem to be that far out. He's also very frugal. We're not. I believe, yes, in watching the pennies, but I also believe in living as well. I'm not saying Cruising the Cut isn't living, but we're not as frugal as that. As an example, well, I almost said as an extreme example because it's a brilliant video. Go and have a look at Floating Our Boat. They did one recently, and they are continuous cruisers, excluding their food and a few other bits and pieces, and I'll come on to that in a minute. Their monthly costs were £202, and I thought they hit it absolutely on the head. There are a lot of folk paying more than that each month for their poll tax. So that's an example. Ours has come out at £643 per month to live on the narrow boat. Cruising the Cuts came out at 507, and Floating Our Boat came out at £202, which I think is amazing. Now, as I say, I'm going to put another another set of figures in a minute, at the end on the slide. That includes, we own a car and we will continue to own a car, so there's car costs in there. I've also forecasted our food costs, entertainment, etc, etc. So you'll see a complete monthly forecast for what I think it's going to cost us to live on our narrowboat at the marina with everything. I'd love your comments on it. She's made an appearance after all the numbers have been done. Right, so we're conscious that on the towpath a few days ago we never got through all of the questions or the emails. There's not that many, but you've sent them in, so we want to read them out because
absolutely,
you've taken the trouble. So, and again, I'm doing it off the old iPad, so apologies for me looking down. Greg Smythe from Cornwall. I love you, pair, and Mrs. B, you need to do a separate upload just to warn people, especially men of a certain age, like me, about those tops you were wearing.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
About those tops you were wearing. Please don't get me wrong, they are utterly spectacular, but please, a little bit of an advance warning perhaps. Last week you just got straight into it. Straight into what? Where was I? Got straight into it. And to be honest, it took me a few minutes to gather myself up. And then at the end, we got another shot of what I can only describe as heart-stopping and blood pressure raising. Sunday evening viewer fest. Okay. I love these vlogs, and you two should get a narrowboat. We are. As you two are way too energetic to just sit on a marina all day. And Wendy, the rest of the cut needs to see the sexy and very beautiful woman you are. That's your second strike, Greg. Thank you. No, look, we're getting a narrowboat, so thank you for that. So that's Greg. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Susan Barnes from Nottingham just wanted to drop you both a short email to say, one, we love what you guys are planning, but perhaps a narrowboat. There's a theme. We say this because we had a wide beam and actually sold it for our current narrowboat. Don't get us wrong, we love the wide beam, sorry, but we have now been on our narrowboat for 3 years and are completely in love with it. You can simply go anywhere on a 57-foot narrowboat. Well, in fact, we heard recently you can maybe squeeze that to around about 60 foot, with the exception of a couple of locks.
Yeah, they said, we were watching Cruising the Cut, watching Dave on Cruising the Cut, and he was saying that there's certain places where if there's just you in the lock and you've got a 59, 60 foot, you can go diagonally into the lock. So there are some places that you can go. So, but you're right. 57 is the one to get into.
We'll probably end up with 57, 60 maximum.
Listen, we haven't been through a lock yet. We're talking about going
We
diagonally.
haven't even got the boat yet.
We can't even get into a lock.
Right, where are we? Yeah, you can simply go anywhere in a 57-foot narrowboat. We live on a marina and Paul, my husband, works. We are around your age and we can't wait to explore the network full time. But at the moment, we go out on weekends. We love it because whilst it may be the same place we are going, it still feels like an adventure and we are getting some very different views away from the arena. Just want to stress, we love the marina we live on, but it's lovely to get away on a Friday evening and come back Sunday night. That's exactly what we're planning.
We said exactly the same when we were walking the other day.
Yeah. Susan's second point. Our second point is Paul has watched nearly all of your motorbike vlogs. Thank you, Paul. And has said to me he is bewildered as to why you are thinking Y-beam. Sorry to go on about this, and if you ever did get a narrowboat, then the vlogs would be brilliant. Thank you. As I say, you guys didn't change our minds for us. Don't take that the wrong way. We changed our minds through discussion. These emails and these little thought provokes definitely nudged us along the way a little bit. And Susan's final point, Wendy, Paul doesn't know I'm including this. Oh dear, Paul. Wendy, Paul doesn't know I'm including this, but recently I overheard him. I overheard him on the phone telling a work colleague to take a look at your channel and the Mrs. B's PTs because whilst they were informative, he challenged any man to be able to concentrate through an entire episode. I have watched them, and whilst I have never been on a motorbike, I do have to say you're a fine-looking woman.
Oh, thank Thank you, Susan.
How are you feeling now, Paul? Right, we are off. I just wanted to say we love these weekly vlogs and do hope you take a moment to consider what the right boat is for a couple of adventurers like you. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. That's lovely. That's a really, really
Yeah,
nice
it is.
compliment.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It
really,
is
really
nice.
nice comment. Thank you.
Rob Burnett from Lancaster. Seriously, you expect a man who has been married for 36 years to explain to his wife, who at the time had not seen any of these weekly vlogs, that they are well worth a watch, and to maybe interrupt the Antiques Roadshow to watch the latest one.
Can I just say you should never interrupt the Antiques Roadshow.
And then...
It's what Sundays are about.
And then you start it with that T-shirt. Wendy, my wife can give many a look of disdain, and has done so over the years of our marriage. The look she gave last Sunday went straight in at number 1. Now, I must admit, after a fairly energetic explanation that the videos aren't all like this, we sat back down and watched it. Halfway through, she commented that she was actually enjoying it and will be watching the ones that had gone before so she could get up to date. Then we had the slow motion clip of you in the Mrs. B's top. How my marriage survived the evening, I shall never know. Yes, she has calmed down, and yes, I think she shall watch the back catalogue of the weekly vlogs, but please spare a thought for us long-suffering married men. I love what you pair are doing, but can't you please put a viewer discretion title on the vids at the appropriate time? Viewer discretion. Does that help? Rob, that is really funny. P.S. Don't go wide beam. What's the point in paying all that money on marina fees and the boat? On a boat you can't go anywhere. Rob, I'll take this slight exception to we know you can go and explore some of the network on a wide beam, but I totally agree in terms of paying all those fees for predominantly having it sat in the marina. Look, viewer discretion, viewer warning, look away now. Mrs. Bonneville is on screen. Rob, thank you, and I hope your marriage is intact.
Rob, thanks. Hey, and I hope your wife enjoys the clips and videos and stuff as well.
Stephen Richards from Bolton, really loving the vlogs, and have a quick question if I may, of course. Mm-hmm. Do you know how long it will before you get onto the marina, and do you have to have an interview? I ask because the marina we are currently on had a wait list, and it was like getting into some kind of secret club.
It is.
They clearly didn't want just anyone living there. Wendy, my wife wants to know how you keep your arms looking so firm, no bat wings, and how you manage to keep your chest cleavage so line free, please. She is 10 years younger and wants to know your routine. Right, as quick as you can, Mrs. B, because we have talked about this a lot.
My arms. I do a lot of stuff with my arms anyway, and dancing and stuff.
Weights.
But I have wrist weights, so I wear them maybe for about half an hour every day when I'm washing up and things like that. 1.5 kilogram on each arm, so I just do that. My cleavage, my décolletage, everything that you do to your face, I do to my chest. So cleanse, tone, moisturise on the face, on the décolletage.
Excellent.
That's it.
Thank you. Did we have an interview for the marina? No. How long is it going to take us? We don't know. We were there the other day and we've moved up the list 6 or 7, 8 places. So we really don't know. We do know we're probably going to have to go on the marina and just pay daily, weekly, whatever fees until we get onto the actual residential list as such. We think. We hope that's not the case, but that's certainly what we seem to be expecting and anticipating with Mercia Marina. I feel as though I'm rushing, but as I say, it's a long vlog. So Simon, was that Simon? No, Stephen, thank you.
Thanks, Stephen.
Got a couple more to go. Simon Raw from Lancashire. You have no idea how much I envy what you are doing. Massive decision, yep. But I think you two are going to love it. And watching the vlogs makes me feel like life is passing me by and I'm not living it as I want. Oh. Come on, fella, get out there and live your life. Darren and Wendy, quick question. Will you be taking that helmsman's course you talked about on a previous vlog, and will you be taking a boat engine course, or don't you see the need? And is there any other part of the boat that you think you will need to know more about? Yes, we're doing the helmsman's course.
Definitely.
Is there any part of the boat that we think we will need to know more about? All of it. And engine-wise, I don't want to appear as though I'm flexing here, but I'm okay with the engine. But if I feel the engine is a little bit beyond me, I'll go on a course or I will gen up on it. But I'm okay with the set of spanners, if I'm honest with you. So the engine doesn't bother me that much. So yeah, helmsman course. Rest of the boat we haven't got a clue about. The engine, I'm okay-ish. Steph and Robbie from St Anne's, Mrs B, has already shouted Robbie out earlier. But let me just read this out. Just wanted to let you know we have recently subscribed.
Thank you.
To the YouTube channel, and simply felt compelled to let you both know that you have motivated us to also start the same journey. Don't blame it on us.
Yes.
No, that is absolutely brilliant. You have this energy that is so lovely, and Robbie said to me a few weeks back that we need to be doing this, and he is right. So we have just put our house on the market and are starting to look at narrowboats. We aren't ready for a wide beam and we don't mean any disrespect, but they are a little bit retirement and we aren't at that place yet. We don't do all the social media stuff, but Wendy, if you ever do the Patreon thing, then count us in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Thanks,
Robbie
Steph.
wants to know if you can give him a shout out. We've done that. Another quick one.
Hi
Shout
again,
out
Robbie.
from me, Robbie, as well. A shout out because he thinks you are gorgeous.
Thank you.
I am okay about this, I think. Lots of laughter.
Oh, Steph. Thank you.
Listen, fantastic. Keep in touch. Absolutely keep in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
And if there's anything at all, we're not professional.
Don't ask us.
You know we're not professional. But if we can share a little bit of our experience with you that we're not showing already, then please just let us know and we'll do whatever we can to help you.
We'll do our very best, but
Yeah.
we haven't got a clue. Paul and Sue Gibbs from... This is the last one, by the way. This vlog is the world's longest. Paul and Sue Gibbs from Northwich in Cheshire. Never did I think I would be emailing a YouTuber and starting it off with, I'm gutted we didn't stop. So here goes. Oh, this is another one of those. Around 10 days back, Paul, my husband, saw you both on the roundabout at the entrance to the marina. We have friends moored there and we were coming out of the marina in the car. You were talking to a couple of the marina grounds and maintenance team.
Oh, they're lovely. They're really nice men.
Yeah. Paul saw you both and bloody well nearly didn't stop at the junction leaving the marina, and we very nearly got taken out by a car.
Oh, dear.
He was besides himself because he has watched all the vlogs and I've not seen my husband so animated for a long time. He's an accountant and trust me, accountants don't do animated. I've worked with a few accountants. I've got to agree.
And my niece is one.
I've got to agree. Come on, accountants out there, let your hair down. Life's too short.
Oh, we would have loved to have met them both, wouldn't we?
Let me just carry on reading this
sorry.
out. So we turned around and you had vanished, simply vanished. It's because we knew your accountant in the car. No, I'm joking. Paul's face was a picture, looked as though someone had taken the batteries out of his favourite calculator.
Oh.
When we got home, he showed me some of your vlogs, and I must admit, after getting over the obvious, i.e. you were rather pleasing on the eye, Wendy. Viewer warning. What you pair are doing is great. Just go narrowboat first, and then maybe wide beam. Absolutely. Paul also suggests that when you get settled, you pair should host something. Look, what we're not going to do is upset anyone, including our new neighbours and the management team at Mercia. Yes, Mrs. Bonneville's going to be doing some vlogging. We're not going to be anyone's face. So if anyone is watching this from Mercia, we are genuinely lovely folk. We're not going to be having wild parties on a boat. And we're going to be very, very discreet and very respectful of the marina policy.
We're in bed. We usually watch the news and go to bed and read.
Yes. So
That's how exciting we are.
Paul, Sue, that is such a lovely email, by the way. And look, it goes without saying, if anyone ever does see us out there,
Please come and say hello. But please, yeah, do come and say hello. That's, do you know, that's twice that's happened at the marina. And do you know, we'd actually gone round the back and under the bridge to go onto the canal side. That's where we'd gone when you missed us to do a bit of vlogging. So that's a shame that. But please, if you see us again, please stop and say hello because we'd love that.
Right, we're going to say goodbye now because, as I say, this has gone on for way too long. I promise next week's is not going to be as long as this. We've got to be more succinct. Listen, subscribe to Mrs. B on Twitter and Instagram. We will see you next week for our weekly vlog. Excuse me. Thank you. Look, I say again, you guys didn't change your mind, but you guys definitely helped because a lot of the emails we're getting now, we're getting emails from boaters, so thank you. It really did give us some food for thought.
It really made us think. And, and the thing is, you guys know exactly what you're talking about because you've been on a boat, you've done it, so we take on board. Take on board. I take on board everything you're saying. There you go. I didn't mean to make a pun then, but I did.
And we definitely don't want to insult any YB owners out there. We've already said that's something quite possibly in the future. It'll either be a wide beam to retire on or it will be France. That's the decision we've got to make.
Is it an oxen?
We've put it in there, the Hoxton. And I'll leave you with our weekend reading. We've bought a couple of Nicholson's guides. We've bought some maps of the inland waterways. That's what we're going to be doing. I say again, thank you. Keep the emails coming and we will see you next week, won't we?
Definitely.
Goodbye.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Why did I...
You always do that.
Did you ever think a couple of bikers would be looking at porta potties? Porta potties. Train! Look at them boats. We have no idea what they are. Social media.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Did you say bite me then? Further up, because I'm still higher than you. Only tap.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Did you say bite me then?